You know, when you talk about the establishment versus the outsiders, we've had 30 or so contests, right? Outsiders, and I would put Ted Cruz in that camp. He is a U.S. Senator, but he's ticked all other U.S. Senators off, so they see him as a renegade and outsider. Certainly Bob Dole did when I talked to him. So if you combine the Cruz wins with the Trump wins, 27 out of 30 have gone to those guys. So what does that say? And what about the efforts on the part of the so-called establishment figures to stop that? Richard Berman, Enterprise Freedom Action Committee, joins us right now. Richard, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I think that when you start to talk about the establishment, you're really just talking about people that are other than Cruz and Trump. And I don't know that the establishment is really a well-defined group of people. What we've got today is a lot of people who are as angry as they were when the Tea Party formed, and Trump has basically inherited those people. Had there not been a Tea Party movement and it wasn't expressed with all their outrage, I don't think that Trump would be getting any place. By the same token, you know, Bernie Sanders is the inheritor of Occupy Wall Street of 4 years ago. So everybody that's not in one of those two camps is considered to be the establishment, but I don't really know what the establishment is other than the fact that it's not them.
That's a brilliant point. I think you're right about that, because it's certainly established guys differ over both Cruz and Trump, and they don't like the direction that either or both could take them, but they don't know what another acceptable direction is, and they're divided amongst themselves who or what type of candidate that would be. Having said that, is there a danger with either one of these guys getting the nomination where the party is fractured? I mean, I always see a party eventually rallying around its nominee, whoever it is. Some with great gusto, others not so much. But what do you think?
Well, on the Republican side, I think the way that you get people to rally around a candidate is to have them rally around an issue. People are angry. They're angry over the debt. They're angry over what's going to happen with Social Security and Medicare. Now, Cruz is actually being a willing participant in explaining the problem. Trump, on the other hand, is basically saying he's going to make it worse with some of his policy prescriptions. So if Cruz can get people to understand the depth of the problem, I mean, people don't understand a $19 trillion debt. When you talk about it, it doesn't mean anything to people when you say, everybody owes $50,000 to pay off a $19 trillion debt. If you don't think someone's coming to your door with a bill for $50,000, it's not a real threat. Somebody has to actually get the public behind the problem and get them to buy into a solution, and some of those solutions are going to create some problem for the middle class because there's not enough money, you know, in the upper classes to pay for all this. And when that happens,
someone has to your point, explain math. Someone maybe get the Ross Perot charts out again, because, you know, people said there wouldn't be stomach and appetite for those type of lessons. Obviously, in 1992, there was. So.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, here's a real simple way to just show you how big the problem is, and I've, you know, shown this to people before, and they really scratch their head. 1 million seconds elapses in 12 days. A trillion seconds elapses after 30,000 years. Now, when you say that to people, they all of a sudden understand that a trillion is a big number. And when you do that, you start to get people to buy into the fact that we've got a problem that we need to solve.
It's well put. That's very well put. Thank you very, very much. Richard, good seeing you.
Good to see you.